Hello everyone, I am Arash. In this video we are going to talk about the loops in C#. In C# we have different types of loops. Your textbook has explained the logic behind these loops thoroughly. In this video I am going to talk about the while loop. Let's suppose that we have been asked to develop an application that prints all the even numbers between 1 and 50. You can see that I have placed a button on my form. So when the user presses this button, the application is supposed to return all the even numbers between 1 and 50. Also, I have used a rich text box as the container where my even numbers are going to be shown up, because I don't want to be worried about the length of the string that is going to be returned by my application. So let's go to the event of this button and write some code for it. So we are going to use a while loop in order to generate the even numbers between 1 and 50. Every loop needs to have a counter. So let me initiate that counter first. So int counter, and the initial value of this variable, my counter, is going to be 2 because the first even number after 1 is 2. So this is equal to 2. Now I need some variable that holds my even numbers. So that variable is going to be a string, and I call that even numbers, and the initial value of this variable is going to be something like the even numbers between 1 and 50 are something like this. Now I need something that generates the even numbers for me, and a loop can take care of that for me. So I'm going to use the while loop here. So while my counter is less or equal to 50, do whatever I am going to ask between these brackets. So you can probably guess that this counter is going to be my even number, which I am going to add to this string in every cycle. So let's take care of that. So I'm going to say even numbers plus equal my counter, and remember that you need to change the variable type to a string. And I need to increment my counter by 2 since I am only interested in printing the even numbers. So plus equal 2. And I hope by now you know that this plus and equal is simply equivalent to counter equals counter plus 2. And finally, I need to change the text of my rich text box to this variable. Now take a look at this code and try to see whether you can find a mistake in here. Let's run the application and see what I am talking about. So if I press this button, I am expecting to receive all the even numbers between 1 and 50. You see that we are receiving those numbers, however, there is no space between each and every 2 numbers. So we can easily take care of that by going back to our code and by just adding some space in here. Now if I run this application again, you will see that it's working perfectly. You can see that the even numbers between 1 and 50 are 2, 4, 6, and there are spaces between the numbers until 50. Please save this application as we are going to work with it in the next few videos.